It's now time to reflect on this week's Sunday Gospel.
Good morning and welcome to the Gospel Reflections. Now that the disciples have acknowledged that Jesus is the Messiah, Jesus confides in them the outcome of his ministry. He must suffer and die in Jerusalem to be raised on the third day. Peter rejects this prediction, and Jesus rebukes him severely, saying, "Get behind me, Satan." In opposing this aspect of Jesus' mission, Peter shows that he is no longer speaking based on the revelation from God, but as a human being. Jesus then teaches all the disciples about the difficult path of discipleship. To be Christ's disciple is to follow in his way of the cross. Peter could not yet understand what it means to call Jesus the Messiah. It's unlikely that the other disciples understood any better. Messianic expectations were a common aspect of first century Judaism. Under Roman occupation, many in Israel hoped and prayed that God would send a Messiah to free the Jews from Roman oppression. The common view was that the Messiah would be a political figure, a king that would free Israel from Roman rule. In this passage, however, Jesus is beginning to teach his disciples that he would be the Messiah in a different way. Jesus would be more like the suffering servant described by the prophet Isaiah than the political liberator. Those who would be Jesus' disciples would be called to a similar life of service. Perhaps this is what Peter feared most in Jesus' prediction of his passion. He whom Jesus had called the Rock would also be called upon to offer himself in sacrifice and service to others. Christian leaders today are still called to sacrifice and serve others as Jesus did, very especially in the year 2020, where the pandemic is threatening the lives and livelihood of millions of people in the world. The Jews believed that the Christ, a descendant of the house of David, was going to be a great king in the tradition of David. Jesus wanted to clarify what his role was. His role was indeed to free the people of Israel and all the people of the world, not from any earthly power, but from the power of sin, making them children of God. This was not to be achieved by the political power and strength, but on the cross, through his suffering, death, and resurrection. Do I really understand what it means to believe in Jesus as Christ? It is to take up my cross, as Jesus says, "If anyone wants to be a follower of mine, let him renounce himself and take up his cross and follow me." God's word emphasizes that there is no other way to salvation except through the cross. Jesus is being very frank and honest to his followers. Christianity is not the opium of the people. Christianity is not an escapism from the realities of life. Rather, it is facing discipleship head on, even if it means the cross and martyrdom. The life of every person has two aspects: joy and sorrow, victory and failure, cross and crown, life and death. Our success depends very much on our attitude to these inseparable aspects of our life. Jesus' way is for those who are brave. Hardship and pain are part and parcel of Christian life. They are to be faced with courage and optimism. Quitting the battlefield is not characteristic of the discipleship of Jesus. Let us stay in the way of the Lord till the end. Thank you for listening to God's Word. This is Father Jimmy Matthew, CSC Mission Director, FRC Philippines, wishing you grace-filled and pleasant day. See you again next week. Till then, bye and God bless.